Even though the story of the smiling critters officially ended in Chapter 3, recent news suggests their story is way deeper than it seems. And if you really think about it, there's a chance that some of them might not only still be alive, but could even return in Chapter 5. We all know Catnap, who was supposedly killed by the prototype. But honestly, I don't fully believe he actually died. If you take a closer look, the prototype pierced his head very carefully. We only see damage to his mouth and the back of his throat, while his brain, vital arteries, and other critical organs seem untouched. And considering all the hints that Chapter 5 will be the finale, meaning a confrontation with the prototype, is inevitable, someone like Catnap, even as a side monster, could be useful to the prototype. This theory is further supported by the fact that Poppy herself told us that the prototype's so-called home is the same lab where all the experiments on kids took place. If he has access to that lab, then there's a real possibility that Catnap could return in Chapter 5. Dog Day is another interesting case. At one point in his conversation with us, he claimed to be the last of the smiling critters. At first, this might seem like it completely shuts down any hope of their return. But don't be so quick to jump to conclusions. It's not that simple. Hoppy Hopscotch's story proves that, but let's take it one step at a time. Everybody remembers Bobby Bearhug, right? Well, think back to her voice line.
Hi, I'm Bobby Bearhug. Want to know how much I love you? I love you to the moon and back. I'm crazy about you. I'm lost without you. I've been lost a long time. Please, take me with you this time. You won't leave me, will you?
As you can tell, there are no screams or static interference in Bobby Bearhug's voice line, unlike others we'll get to later. Bobby sounds a little scared, but all we really learn is that she doesn't want to be alone and is desperately trying to show us her love. To understand her strange behavior, we need to look at the description of Experiment 1186, because yeah, that's exactly who Bobby is. In short, here's what the description says. The Bigger Bodies Initiative version of Bobby Bearhug, dubbed Experiment 1186, was created in 1990 to interact with the children in play care. However, there were issues in the process of her creation. Bobby showed a lack of awareness of her surroundings and did not respond to audio stimuli, indicating a distortion or total lack of sensory function. Bobby also could not speak, despite being able to move her mouth, and she could not keep her balance when she stood up. It was indicated that she would need to return to surgery to fix these issues. Besides that, we learned that all the Bigger Bodies Initiative experiments among the smiling critters were basically just stepping stones in creating the perfect formula for Experiment 1188, aka Catnap. And we've even got photos to back up the experiment's description. Now, while many believe Bobby was killed after the Hour of Joy, there's actually no solid proof, just theories. So we can't say for sure that she's dead. And considering she was the one who revealed the truth about these experiments, there's a pretty good chance we'll see her pop up in Chapter 5, even if it's just for like 15 to 20 seconds. Next on our list is the cool guy Kickin' Chicken.
Wanna go outside and hang out? It's looking pretty rad outside. I've never been outside before. Will you come with me? I'm scared. Here, follow me. I'll step out first.
So what do we get after listening to his cardboard line? Well, he was dead set on escaping play care, and he almost pulled it off, but that chilling scream at the end of his voice line? Yeah, that pretty much confirms he didn't make it. He died just a step away from freedom. We definitely shouldn't expect to see him in Chapter 5. Now, let's talk about my favorite, Bubba Bubbaphant.
Bubba Bubbaphant! Hey, I remember you! An elephant always remembers. Want to know what I remember about you?
From his description, it's clear that he was seriously smart, but unfortunately, that wasn't enough to save him. Just like Chicken, Bubba met the same fate. His voice line ends with a blood-curdling scream, basically confirming he's gone. Like I mentioned at the start, the devs really only fleshed out two characters, Catnap and Dog Day. But in Chapter 4, we actually got some more info about another smiling critter, Hoppy Hopscotch. First, let's go back and listen to his voice line.
I'm Hoppy Hopscotch. Wanna try hopping to the moon with me? On 3 with me. 1, 2, 3! Heh, didn't get very far, did we? Listen, this won't stop until we make it to the moon. 1, 2... No, don't look at your feet! None of that matters! Again! Jump!
At first, a lot of people got uneasy because of that weird static sound at the end. It was almost like interference. But other than that, there was nothing suspicious or anything that directly hinted at Hoppy's death. Then, after Chapter 4 dropped, Hoppy's story actually became a whole lot clearer.
What do we do now?
For starters, you two stay here tonight. Let things settle down outside. I'll find more food for you to bring up to play care. When you're ready.
Thanks, Joey. Sorry we lost the supplies. It won't happen again.
We found out that after the Hour of Joy, she lived in Safe Haven and was one of the characters who gathered food for the weaker toys. At some point, though, she and her partner were attacked, and their food was stolen. But that's not even the most important part. A lot of people immediately thought the attacker was the prototype, and honestly, I believe that too. Considering that one of the notes openly states that Hoppy disappeared after this incident, my confidence in that theory only grew. And this is the key aspect of Hoppy's story and the chances of seeing her in Chapter 5. I've already explained in my previous videos why Chapter 5 will be the final chapter, and if we're destined to face the prototype, then that means there's a real chance we'll find Hoppy in that very laboratory. Now we finally understand why Dog Day's claim that he's the last of the critters isn't entirely accurate. He simply doesn't have enough information to confirm who's dead and who's still alive. But we'll come back to that dog later. First, let's talk about Picky Piggy.
Picky Piggy, let's eat! Roast beef? Delicious! Grilled chicken? Down the hatch! Seared elephant? Yum! Flayed unicorn? Mmm! Still hungry. Hey, what do you say you and I be friends?
While we didn't hear anything suspicious, several facts suggest that we shouldn't expect to see her in Chapter 5. First, we need to understand that she is insanely gluttonous. No matter how much she eats, she's always hungry. And if we recall Doey mentioning the food shortage and the fact that, after the Hour of Joy, food supplies dwindled week by week, then Picky Piggy might have simply become too weak from starvation. As a result, she could have turned into easy prey for the other monsters. It's a shame that we'll probably never see her in Chapter 5, but we still have a few more contenders for a potential return, and one of them is Crafty Corn.
Hi, I'm Crafty Corn. Can you help me with my painting? Pass me the blue, please. Thanks. Now, can you give me some red? More red, please. Out? But we can't be out. You're hiding more red from me. I know you are. Give it here! Now that's much better.
Remember the static in Hoppy Hopscotch's voice line? Here we hear something similar, which means we can now be fully confident that it doesn't indicate a character's death. The most interesting detail in this recording is the revelation that Crafty Corn is insanely addicted to the red gas and is most likely under Catnap's control. And even if she's alive and an encounter with her is theoretically possible, the fact that she's probably lost her mind due to constant exposure to the red gas makes us question whether meeting her would even be a good idea. Most likely, she turned into a complete vegetable, and once she became totally useless, she was killed by either the prototype or Catnap. For some reason, I find that scenario far more believable than the idea that she's still alive. And finally, just a quick note on Dog Day. Our conversation with him revealed a lot.
Come to save us. Nothing left to save. Not here. The last of the smiling critters. Listen to me. You need to get out of this place.
But in his final scene, we never actually saw him die. The door simply slammed shut in front of him. It's entirely possible that he broke free from the mini-toy's control and could return as a minor character to assist us in Chapter 5. Let me know in the comments who you think actually survived and has a solid chance of reappearing in Chapter 5. And with that, I'll say goodbye.